Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I love? Patreon.com/inkdependence, where patrons get access to a patron-only Discord, ad-free videos, and the joy of knowing they help support this channel. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and this is Van Dieman's Night Series Tiger Quoll Prowl. This is an ink that kind of has everything. It's got a great brown color, it's got a ton of sheen, and also a decent amount of shimmer, although not a huge amount. You can see the color kind of over here. Let's talk packaging for a sec. This is just not my favorite packaging. It might be one of my like bottom few types of packaging, because I looked everywhere for this dumb ink, and I know that I looked at this box several times without being able to figure out what ink was in it. And I finally figured it out. So yeah, that's a little bit of a trial. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Just tell me just put the name of the ink and the color big and not like all this. It's nice enough art, but whoa. All right, let's look at the actual bottle. Looks like this nice little bottle. Oh, hi Nose. How are you doing, bud? I had this sample first, and you can't really tell because I swished it around, but there's like this much left in this sample. Very little. I got this from Van Ness Pens. I really like this Tiger Quoll Prowl, so I'm like, look, I'm buying a bottle of this. So it kind of went on the list. You can see on the bottom there, nice amount of shimmer hanging out in there. Hi, buddy. Yes, no, I love you. Why are you on my desk right now? Just saying hi? Just saying hi to folks? Well, that's nice of you. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like on some paper. I'm gonna have to relocate my cat. All right, so here is the Tiger Quoll Prowl on my usual Nebula casual note. It's a really good paper for all kinds of inks. You get plenty of sheen off of it, good color representation. The shimmer shows up well, and as you can see, this is a very, very sheeny ink. There's sheen in pretty much every part of this page, which is pretty darn cool. I like the look. It's got a brown that's kind of on the warm side. It's got a lot of sheen. In fact, maybe a little too much sheen. It could have gone a little lighter on the sheen, if I'm honest. That's the only thing. A little less sheen, perhaps. I say this is medium or medium wet. I think that's probably true. I've had this in the same pen for a couple of years now, or a year and a half anyway, and I really like it in here. In fact, like I said, I went through that sample pretty darn quick. Green sheen and shimmer for sure. I had it in this pen. In fact, I've had it in this pen since, I don't know, for like a year and a half, like I said, and it's done really well in this TWSBI Goes broad nib. No problems here. Little bit of, you can see a little bit of perhaps a little crustiness there around the edge of the nib. That's not a big deal. The breakage there on the feed, that was me. I pulled the feed out and this one broke for some reason. I don't know, it's really weird, but be careful with your pens. It's not going to hurt it. It'll be okay. But you can see a little crustiness there. That's not a big deal. That's just a little bit of ink evaporation. So don't worry if you see that kind of thing on your ink. If it looks organic, that's a problem. But if it looks like crystals, totally fine. Anything that has a yellow component, I think, will do that crystallization thing way more than any other inks you'll get. So greens, browns, yellows, those kind of things, some reds, that kind of jazz, but not a big deal. Hasn't really impacted the flow. If you have too many crystals on there, it makes your flow bad. Just like swish it underneath a faucet real quick, just like a little bit of water, and it just like will wash off instantly. It'll turn right back into ink and go away. So not to worry about that. Okay, so comment section here. I can get it to focus on this and not Mr. Nose's glorious fur. This is a really fun ink. I really like the attitude of this ink. It's very cool, well behaved in this pen, well behaved on 20-pound paper, which is very cool. See that here soon. You can see here the chromatography is very interesting for this ink, I think. In fact, I have two different strips. This is my old method, which is coffee filters that I would cut up into strips, and the other one is official chromatography paper. You can see it's spread more on the coffee filter, and it did it faster. The chromatography paper is a much tighter weave, I think, and it is much slower, and also sometimes you don't get as much spread, but most of the time it looks pretty darn good. These 30 ml bottles are only $17, so I think that's pretty darn nice. Let's go ahead and do our water test. Then we'll take a look at some different papers and some similar inks. I've got a lot of brown inks. I've got a lot of shimmer inks, so we're going to have a little bit of everything here. In fact, I had to pull from brown inks, shimmer inks, and sheening inks in order to get all the samples I wanted for this one. All right, you see a lot of brown coming off. That's not a great sign. And interestingly, in that chromatography, you see a whole bunch of violet, which is not what I expected from this ink, honestly. But I mean, it is Night Series. Wait, maybe is that why there's a lot of purple on the box? No, probably not. Probably not. Go ahead and do this. Maybe it's night because Tiger Quolls are nocturnal. Not really sure what the deal is with that whole scenario there. So yeah, a whole bunch of this came up. In fact, most of it did, but you do still have quite a lot. Mr. Nose, you're not being super helpful. I know, I'm not scratching your head as much as I should. Here, there's some scratches. These are from everybody on the internet. They all love you. All right, so plenty of pink left over. So you would be able to make out what you wrote, but it would not be a brown anymore. So yeah, be careful with that around water. All right, let's take a look at it on a bunch of different papers. All right, here it is on my usual Staples 20-pound, 30% recycled paper from that TWSBI Go broad nib, which is a very broad nib for sure. And I think this ink is a little bit on the wet side, but even then, there's no feathering anywhere on here. And actually, hardly any bleed through at all. Like a few spots on here, and as you can see, like everything bleeds through this paper pretty well. Except for Tiger Quoll Prowl, which is pretty impressive. Oh, and this Galen Leather Sapphire is also pretty good at that. But this is the best thing on this page for sure. Good job, Tiger Quoll Prowl. So if you want to use a weird ink on like dodgy paper, this might be the one for you. All right, we're nose free for a moment. So here it is on Moorman Croaky paper. I love Croaky paper. This is quite good. This is some transcription. Whoops. This is some transcription from the 99% Invisible City by Roman Mars and Kurt Kohlstedt. You may recognize that from the podcast that they do with called 99% Invisible. It's a really interesting bit about civic monuments and stuff like that. So check this out if you'd like to hit pause and read about this stuff here. And let's look at it on some other papers. All right, this is my Inky Fingers Currently Ink notebook. This is wheat straw paper, which is kind of like sugar cane. You don't really find wheat straw paper anymore, unfortunately. If you do find some, get it, because it's usually very good. This ink looks, I would say, more brownish reddish on here with less sheen than I kind of expected, but still a good amount of sheen, good amount of shimmer. And as you can see, I've had it in there since 2023, and no sign of stopping. Really like this ink. All right, here is my Galen Leather Everyday book. This is my last paper here. This is Tomoe River, and this is the old school Tomoe River that is widely known and loved and harder than ever to find. You definitely see more of the brown on here, I think, but also plenty of that sheen. This is interesting. I like the way it acts on these different papers. Looking cool. Tiger Quoll Prowl. All right, time for some comparisons. Here it is on a Moorman Colodex card right there. Lots of high nose. Lots of sheen and shimmer there, of course. Here it is. Whoa, I have two? I have two. Well, look at that. How about that? Okay, we can throw that over there. Got this at Van Ness. So here it is with Girbon Krub de Chiffre, which is not at all the same, but I knew people would want to see the other very sheeny, shimmery brown. It does have the same kind of shimmer in there, although not quite as much, I think, as Krub de Chiffre, but the brown is very different. This is a much more red brown than this one, but still some green sheen. Buddy. Then we have Dieman Winter Spice. Nose is on a tear today. You'll not stay off my desk. This is a much closer brown, I think, and also a very cool ink to check out if you've not seen this one. This is from the 2021 ink event called Winter Spice, and man, this is good. It's a really nice brown. It's got blue shimmer and green sheen. Totally worth checking out. Then we've got Robert Oster. This is Sago at Black Gulaman. This is a Robert Oster Endless Pens exclusive that is available now. It was made for the Manila Pen Show this year, and it is definitely a different kind of brown, like a different color of brown. Let me tilt it actually so you can see. This is a more yellow brown, and it's got a ton of shimmer. If you want one that's mostly shimmer, this is mostly sheen. That's mostly shimmer. You really get tons of shimmer off of Sago at Black Gulaman, but very interesting ink. And I haven't had any problems with this binding up in my pen. I thought with this much shimmer it probably would, but it's not. Then my very favorite brown, this is Vinta Pamana Heritage Brown, which is a very similar brown tone. You can actually see the browns there, also with a green sheen. Just no shimmer, so kind of a different thing, but I really like that one. Then let's move this one out of here. We've got Van Dieman Voyager series. This is Heemskrik and Zehane. They were explorers, I guess, and this is an amazing name for a color. My friend Anna gave me this sample. It's pretty cool. The sheen on this is brilliant. It's got to be some of the same base stuff, and in fact, it might be. And that brown is super similar, right? Like that might be kind of a dupe, but without the shimmer. So if you want shimmer, maybe Tiger Quoll Prowl. If you want just sheen and no shimmer, this one. Interesting. Then we have here Dieman Lion Rock, which is another different kind of brown. Let's see if I can get some of the brown to show up. It's a much darker brown, as you can see, kind of in the middle, but still a whole bunch of sheen on there. So I included it. And then lastly, this is Birmingham Pinco Keystone Formula Extra Dimensional Umber. Now I have a bottle of this that I got from my friend Ruth, and I don't. I haven't put this in a pen yet, but I need to because it looks really cool. It kind of changes colors as it dries and looks different on different papers, but kind of a similar color, a darker, less yellow, I guess less warm overall brown than Tiger Quoll, but kind of close. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of really cool browns there. Cool. A bunch of nice warm browns there with shimmer and sheen to check out. So thanks very much for watching. Check out Tiger Quoll Prowl. This is a really cool ink. Go and get it from Van Ness or wherever you grab your Van Dieman's inks. Tell them I said hi, and let me know what your favorite browns are down there in the comments. Also, I think I've done a video on my favorite browns, and if I haven't, I will soon. So, check that out. But this is one of them. This is another one of them. These are very powerful browns here, especially for shimmers. So there you go. That's it. See you in another video soon. Until then, peace out.